Hi guys, this is Carmela Soleil of the Senura Kitchen. It's been many months since I last did a video, well, I guess this is it. So I guess last time I was telling you that I was going to go for a colonoscopy because I had, after over a year, I still didn't know what was happening in my gut. So unfortunately, I went ahead and did that at the end of January, and that proved to be a super big mistake. I read so much about it, saying that you really shouldn't do a colonoscopy unless you absolutely have to. And, unfortunately, I thought I was at that point, I thought there was no other option. So I went ahead and did that, and even though nothing happened during the actual, nothing disastrous happened, like, you can actually get a perforation of your colon while that camera is inserted through, the colon as it turns the corners and whatnot. So at least that didn't happen. But I felt afterwards, I felt actually worse than before the colonoscopy. So I think part of it is that I probably got some sort of infection because apparently you cannot properly sterilize that piece of equipment. And also the one area that was really sensitive, which was around the belly button, actually got worse. And I think that was probably from the cleansing. You have to take a solution before to totally clean your bowels so that they can see properly. So all in all, it was a very traumatic experience for my gut. I ended up with more pain in new areas that I didn't have before. I had to go all the way back to the, almost pretty much the beginning of when I introduced food with just white rice congee and banana and chicken. That's all I could eat for about a month and a half. And now it's been about 4 months, and I'm still not back to how things were before the scope. So there were so few things I could eat as it was. The one area that got hit the most is the vegetables, because they have more fiber than other things. So, and that's the very thing that actually irritates that area that's painful. So yeah, so mostly I can only have carrots and potatoes and thankfully some spinach. So and then the other stuff, I can have broccoli or cauliflower or mushrooms, but they hurt, so then I have just a tiny bit, So yeah, so anyways, very, a tough lesson learned the very hard way. If I could go back and undo things, I would definitely not do that colonoscopy. And what can I do, eh? So I found out like 2 days later that there was an alternative that would have been way better. It's a capsule that you swallow after cleansing your bowels. You swallow the capsule, and then it basically has a camera in it, and it sees everything all the way down to your rectum. And that's what would have been much more effective. It wouldn't have been as traumatic. But also I would have seen something, because on top of all of that, I didn't get to, I didn't get any feedback from the colonoscopy. They said, oh, everything's fine, because all you can see mostly is the colon and just a tiny bit of the beginning and the end of the small intestine. And that's not where the problem is, And I should have, I don't know why the light didn't go on in time. The area that's been problematic the whole time has been around my belly button, and that's like right, in the small intestine, like deep, So of course the colonoscopy wasn't going to see anything. So anyways, so at least now I can add my testimonial to all the others, saying that the colonoscopies are one of the worst things that you can ever do. But so I'm back, I'm back at the beginning, even worse in a way, because I don't really know what's going on, and I have more pain. So yeah, so it's, it's very hard. It's hard to stay strong, and not get depressed and feel hopeless, because it's a pattern that I have. When I don't see any way out in a situation, I just want out. I want to leave. Um, and yeah, so yeah, it's just really hard because I don't see how things will improve. I mean, it's like it doesn't. I've tried everything, it seems, and it's not healing on its own. So I think the only thing that I can think of now would be to remove that part of my small intestine that's problematic. But I don't even know, maybe that would cause more problems. So I guess the hard thing is when I ask myself, can I live for the rest of my life like this? Ouch, I'm not sure I can. It's so hard. Anyways, but on the positive side, something that did happen in the last few months that was, really good. I was, through a friend, I discovered Kundalini Yoga, and I tried different kinds of yoga before, and I didn't resonate because it felt just like exercises, just involving the body for stretches and stuff. And I don't know, I didn't connect with that. But the Kundalini Yoga actually also embraces. It's very much energetic. Some things are very subtle. So it's not just about the body, for sure. And it's about opening energy pathways. And there's an aspect of it that is meditation and also working with mantras, which is a love that I had before long time ago, before I got into rock, working with the power of sound. So I've been really enjoying the yoga. I was going on Saturdays morning, and I did that for a while. I had to stay overnight with a friend so we could go the next morning. So I did that for a while, and then eventually I stopped that. But what I saw clearly, I had to keep doing it every day if I wanted to really reap the benefits of the yoga. So that's what I've been doing pretty much for the last 3 months. I do an hour and a half to 2 hours of yoga every morning, and it brought about such a radical shift in terms of my energy levels. I could hardly believe it. After doing the yoga, I felt like on a high, like I'd plugged myself, I put my fingers in an electric plug, I was like, ooh, and I could do all these things, and finally my life wasn't only about my health issues, finally I wasn't just in survival mode, and I was living. And so that was very intoxicating, So now I don't quite feel it so radically, although it has given me tons of energy. Considering what I've been doing, I've been doing, we had to clear beds here. We've got a garden going on here, so we had to totally clear the beds because they hadn't been used for many years. And it was a lot of physical work involved, and I plowed right along, and so maybe I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for the yoga. So and also speaking of energy shift, I also started to do LED light therapy right around the same time as the yoga, and that also seems to have helped in raising my energy level. So so it's been it actually, even though nothing has really changed much at the physical level, at least energetically, things took such a drastic turn. I don't feel like a sick person anymore. And that's been, such a relief to start living again. So, right, so that's been the major things. Other than that, officially we're no longer nomadic. We saw that having to go back, because the original plan was to go back to the trailer, spend the summer there because it's very cheap, and then we'd have had to find something else again in the fall. And the thing is, it's very hard to find reasonable rent here in this area. So, and the whole physical move, it's so involved. it was very hard. The move, to this cabin was so like demanding for me. I was out of it for like weeks afterwards. So yeah, I'm glad we came to the decision that we would stay here. It's a good place, and the rent is reasonable. And on top of that, I finally have a garden right at home, where I can play with the dirt and have some things grow. So that's such a blessing, because for years that's something that I've been wanting to have, and there was never a place that had sun, or it was always something not quite right. And of course, we're always traveling too. So yeah, so we're settled in here, and that feels good. We sold the trailer and the truck, so that phase is definitely over. I didn't see how I was going to be in a traveling mode anytime soon, given my condition. So yeah, so it's starting to look like summer here. Like I said, we did a lot of cleaning of the beds that were already established, and of course I didn't want to get too overboard with the whole project. Also a lot of things I can eat, so what we did, we ended up planting over 100 potato plants. So tons of potatoes, because that's pretty much my staple. That's yeah, one of the only things I can eat. So we got lots of potatoes there, and we also have a little greenhouse here, so we've got some tomato plants, which I'm hoping to be able to eat by the end of the summer, and a bit of lettuce. And so yeah, so I'm having fun with that. So I'll write on this blog post. I'll tell you a bit more about what I can eat now, and then also what natural remedies I'm still doing. I guess one of the major things that is different from the beginning, from like a year. It's been a year and a half. Can you believe it? I think a day or 2 days ago marked the year and a half since I did the second liver flush, which really was the kicker for my health. So wow. So yeah, so the new addition is that now I can do vitamins. So I'm taking vitamins it's a vitamin powder. I take that every morning, and so at least, I'm so glad, because before it would always irritate, because of the acidity in there. So I'm really glad that finally I can have some supplementation in that area, because my diet is so restricted. I was starting to get worried about my overall nutrition intake. So oh yeah, one of the side effects of my diet that consists mostly of carbohydrates is that I've put on weight. I don't know if you can see it, but I got quite a little belly now. I'm 113 pounds, so that's the most I've weighted in the last 12 years or so, because since I started to eat raw, I lost a lot of weight, and it was just naturally, as a result of the diet. So yeah, so now, of course, as a result of the diet, I've got all these extra pounds compared to before. But what can I do? There's nothing I can do. I can change I have no choice in terms of what I can eat. So, and to start controlling the amount I eat would be insane. I'm so grateful for the few things that I can eat. So yeah, so what can I do? I can just surrender to what's happening. I hope you guys are all doing good, that you're getting ready for a wonderful spring, summer. Some of you have reached out to me, some that have had issues, similar to mine. And recently I had a lady contact me who did a liver flush, and has had major health problems since, even worse than mine in a way, because she can't put on any weight, and she can't retain the nutrition, and she's lost so much weight that she'll have to, the doctor is talking about putting her on tubes, feeding tubes. So she's very scared, and she's developed a fat intolerance, just as I have in the aftermath of the liver flush. And that's, see, you know, I understand that for most people, they wouldn't have a radical reaction to doing the liver gallbladder cleanses as I have, or as a few others have. But one thing that I wish I had read more carefully, they suggest, or Andreas Moritz, he's the one that whose protocol I had read about. He was suggesting that if you start the process of doing liver gallbladder cleanses, you have to be prepared to do it all the way until you have no longer any stones coming out. And now I can understand why. Because see what happened after I did my first liver flush, I started to have an intolerance to fat. And I, you know, toughed it out, and I was wondering, and I quickly understood that I had a stone that was stuck in my ducts. Because what happens when you do those cleanses, then the stones in your gallbladder start to travel down. And you get the message, hey, it's time to get out. So, and that's what led to my doing another flush 3 weeks later. And that's, I mean, my body was not ready for that. That's what was so traumatic. And led to all these health issues, you know, I mean, this irritation in my gut. So, and yeah, it was definitely what I thought. You know, the second stone that came out was about this big. So yeah, so this woman is having the exact same experience of having the fat intolerance. So yeah, and other, you know, issues. So it's, you know, it breaks my heart to know that anybody else has to go through this ordeal that I've had to, and I continue to go through. I mean, especially if you're healthy, like I was before, I had no reason whatsoever to start, you know, doing something so forceful and radical. Because what? I thought I knew better what my body needs, and instead of, you know, just letting it do trusting its wisdom, you know. So yeah. So of course, you know, I feel that's part of the whole thing. I feel so there's a level of guilt, I guess, you know, for not looking after my body, you know, doing something that in a way feels like such a letdown, you know, such a lack of respect, and yeah, thinking I know better, you know. So yeah, so now I'm doing my best to look after my body now and try to make up, you know, for what I've done. But well, it remains to be seen if if there is really light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, health-wise, we'll see. So I guess that's it. I'll put a few pictures in the post as well, so you get to have a look at our cabin and the flowers and the garden. So I send you much love. I hope you continue to enjoy my recipes, even though I can't. And oh, and I should tell you that what you hear, we have a little stream that goes right by here, right on the property and right by the garden. So and it's so peaceful to be working here. Yeah, I'm totally in heaven, you know, to be spending all this time in the garden and having this soothing music, you know, to my ears. So I love you guys, and I don't know when I'll put another video on. We still don't have internet here, so that's why I'm not very present at all online. And I guess if I have significant news, I'll let you know. And that's it. So wish you guys all the best, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.